Tomorrow, some schools will shut down across the state as thousands of educators rally on the state capitol. Thanks for being here. I'm Alexandra Lewis.
I'm Tom Green. Educators are urging lawmakers to not cut funding to public schools just a year after a new funding formula was created. But lawmakers and the governor say they are looking to cut $1 billion out of the budget. Right now, Colorado bases its funding for districts on an average of student enrollment. So instead of an average, Governor Polis is proposing shifting to funding schools based on actual enrollment numbers. Districts see that as a $150 million cut that they weren't expecting. A spokesperson for the governor's office says funding will increase per student, and the governor would oppose cuts to education. Rob Gould, a special education teacher who is the president of DPS Teachers Union, says funding adjustments leave districts millions in the hole. And that means layoffs, budget cuts, and an increase in class sizes.
And really, these changes, that's really what educators are concerned about. It's these abrupt decisions, these changes that will actually disrupt the entire system and make it difficult for kids to learn. And teachers are sick and tired of having students' learning disrupted by this.
So with the protest tomorrow, DPS says it will be closing about 2/3 of its schools to accommodate the teachers who want to take part in the protest as far as the funding changes. Adams 12 and Boulder Valley have already closed their schools altogether. We'll have a crew at the Capitol tomorrow following the rally for the latest there. And today, we're getting a closer look now at the damage done by a fire near Berthoud.
Firefighters are still focused on making sure the fire from Monday afternoon doesn't reignite. You can see these new photos we got. The fire burned about 30 acres Monday afternoon, destroyed one home. Today, firefighters have been on that scene, focusing on keeping those hot spots from flaring up. 9 News' Northern Colorado reporter Amanda Gilbert spoke to the homeowner about how much of a loss this is.
Yeah, no one was injured in this fire, and it was contained on Monday, but I can tell you, just being there today, you could tell this is still really impacting the family who lost their home and this community. This beautiful hidden oasis not far from Carter Lake. It's where Cliff Cushman's called home for decades.
A lot of memories. Yeah, I've been in the area for a long time.
He grew up in Berthoud, so when he heard about this fire while at work in Estes Park, he hurried home.
Wife had to load all the dogs, and yeah, it was a long drive, let's put it that way.
When he arrived Monday afternoon, this was the view from his porch.
Just disgust, nightmare, heartbreak.
He had to watch the home he grew up in and now owns burn.
It was fast. You never think it's going to happen, and it does, so.
His friends now live here.
Lost everything, so.
Around 30 of Cliff's 35 acres burned. You can see today how close the fire got to other homes. Firefighters are still trying to figure out how this started, but you can see even today how windy it's been here. Cliff says neighbors have been donating.
A lot of people give me cash to give to them. So, yes, there's good people in the world.
It's a scary reminder of what can happen all times of the year. And Cliff was telling me the family whose house was destroyed, they do plan on rebuilding. Amanda Gilbert, 9 News.
And some of the biggest weather problems have been out east. I-70 remains closed if you're trying to drive to Kansas. I-70 has been shut down all day due to the bad weather. Almost all of the highways heading east towards Kansas closed due to safety concerns. And power outages caused by the storms of last night on the eastern plains left a lot of people without power today. The same 50 to 60 mile-an-hour winds that shut down I-70 have meant major issues as far as the power. Mountain View Electric Association says the wind knocked down more than 30 of their utility poles and a transmission line, and that's impacted more than 2,700 customers. After last week's storm, the company says that crews were prepared to deal with this one and started working to restore the power when the wind started kicking up at about 7:30 last night.
I mean, you never want to anticipate it, but you always plan for it. Everybody's, on call, ready to go, so that we are still communicating with members to let them know what we know. All of our crews on standby are ready to go. Our contractor is ready to go at any given moment. So we're closely watching that weather as it's coming in.
Even if you're ready to go, the power crews say they were prepared, but it's difficult to restore power with snow and poor road conditions. At last check, around 600 people are still without power. The power company says it isn't sure when everyone's power is going to be restored.
Right now, live look outside. Snow has been kind of following this off and on pattern throughout the day. Looks like it's off right now, but clearly tons on the ground. Live look near Loveland.
Chris Spears is with us. Chris, this was a very March feeling day today. I was out with the dog this morning. It was cold, it was windy, it was a harsh kind of morning.
It was very cold, and we have one more cold morning to get through tomorrow morning, and then we're going to see a warming trend as some high pressure comes into the region. You were just hearing about all of the wind, a little bit of an improvement. Instead of 50 and 60 mile per hour gusts, we're more now into the 30 and 40, but that is still extremely windy out there on the eastern plains. Denver at the airport, last hour we were gusting in the 30s. This hour we're down to 24 miles per hour. And as you heard Tom mention, with the cold temperatures, boy, that wind makes for quite the wind chill. These air temperatures here, 30s and 40s, but it feels more like teens and 20s across the state with that wind. The storm is on the move. It's all the way over in Illinois as we speak, but its reach is just so broad. We're still on the backside feeling a few snow showers passing through, and of course, that very gusty wind. Tonight in Denver down to 24, gradual clearing, and the wind should gradually come down. And now our headlines will turn to a warming trend, but unfortunately, fire danger will make a return. I'll tell you where we already have red flag warnings in effect in the full forecast.
Developing this hour, the Arizona Department of Public Safety says a family of 3 from Fort Collins was killed in a crash. It happened on Friday during a winter storm when a commercial truck rear-ended an SUV. The crash caused a chain reaction with multiple other vehicles, and in all, 5 people were killed. Now, according to a private school in Fort Collins, Heritage Christian Academy, the 3 killed from Colorado were a family, a mother, a father, and their 17-year-old daughter. Right now, the dry conditions in Florida are fueling a large grass fire there. More than 3,000 acres have burned in southern Miami-Dade. The fire did close some highways yesterday. Currently, there's no rain in the forecast for that area. So the Florida Highway Patrol said this morning the fire is expected to continue to burn for several days. To the West Coast, where workers are cleaning up debris from the landslide in the Pacific Palisades area near Los Angeles. The neighborhood, of course, was ravaged by wildfire in January, and that weakened the hillside. Then the heavy rains hit Southern California, causing the slide, sending debris cascading down onto the Pacific Coast Highway. The landslide destroyed one home that had actually survived the wildfire. Well, tomorrow the first round of March Madness tips off. 4 games will be played right here in Denver over at Ball Arena, with the action beginning at 11:30. That's when we see the Wisconsin Badgers face the Montana Grizzlies.
Now, all 8 of the teams that are in town hit the court today to practice at Ball Arena, and our Scotty Gage was there to watch them all.
1, 2, 3. You know what they say about Denver? It's a place to dance. The dance has arrived here in our state as March Madness will begin right here in Ball Arena with 8 teams looking to punch their ticket to the next round and eventually on the road to the Final Four. We got to catch up with some of the could-be stars before the big games start tomorrow.
For people who don't know, what's the best part about being in this tournament?
It's just the energy. I mean, you remember being a little kid, just watching March Madness, filling out the brackets, being in school, and like your teachers put it on. I mean, this is just like the mecca of basketball that you always wanted to play in.
Everything going good. Feels great to be here. Just a blessing to be here for real.
You kind of hear stories about it, how big it is. You know, being here, I feel like I've kind of sensed it all. You know, how people are getting amped up about this whole thing. So I'm very happy to be a part of it.
It's good. As you see all the cameras around, so it's a good feeling.
The games won't start until tomorrow, but as you can see and probably hear as well, there's a great energy in lower downtown. We're at Ball Arena. I'm Scotty Gage.
Thank you, Scotty. The big thing now is the clock is ticking and everyone making their brackets. I used to know college basketball so well, but now there's so many one-and-done players. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything about these teams this year. So I'll pick a bracket and I'll take my beating. But you haven't picked yours yet.
No, I haven't. I wrote down I have to do it by 10 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm going to do it after these shows are over. But I feel like you know more than the average person. But does that really help you in these brackets?
No, it hurts you because now you think, oh, that team, they're always good. And then you didn't realize you didn't pay attention while their star transferred to another school and another guy's hurt. So, yeah, it's a big old fun toss-up.
Always is.
Yeah, and having it here in Denver, I think it's going to be interesting to see the fan bases, you know, the Wisconsin fans, the Michigan fans, the Texas A&M fans, BYU fans, Yale. Those are the schools that are here. Who turns out?
I know, and I feel like Denver will be a fun place to come, right?
I would think it's a pretty good destination.
Yeah.
You could end up in, you know, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, too. So
no.
Nothing wrong with Harrisburg except everything.
We love you, Harrisburg.